Welcome to episode 19 of the Poker Face podcast. A New Lease on Death.
In this week's episode, we're introduced to Anne and Maddie, a nana and granddaughter with a plan to keep their rent-controlled Brooklyn apartment in the family for another generation. When Anne meets a new love interest, it seems the arrival might have an eye on the place too, with Maddie's suspicions leading her to her demise. Can Charlie pin down the remorseless killer? Or will her own life be on the line as the newcomer fights for her prize?
The bleach fell from there, and, well, that must be the descaler, which, I have to say, that sounds like some sort of a weird torture device for iguanas.
Good evening, Ian. How are things?
Not too bad, Gerry. How are you?
I'm okay. Just been torturing some iguanas.
That's cruel. Not allowed.
Yeah, keeps them clean.
Are they scaly, iguanas?
Don't know. Yeah.
Certainly fish you could descale. That would be hard for them to get by after that.
Yeah, let's move on.
Back on format this week. People like that sort of thing.
They do. And I also like the setting. You can't beat a bit of a New York.
Literally what I've written down. Enjoyed the New York vibe in this one.
All right, okay. There you go. Shit minds think alike.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Anything we should discuss, mention, any preamble?
No, you told me last week to wrap it, so...
Oh, yeah, I did. Yes, you're right. You thought I would... I did forget.
You did forget.
Making a point here, aren't you? If that's what you want. Yep. Okay, let's crack on.
We open with an audio only. There's a different font, and we'll come to that later on. We hear it's a sort of a New York street scene. We don't know it's New York at this stage. And then we join a woman and her granddaughter in an apartment where a lawyer is asking some questions.
Should also note the John Tate jazz score. So we have Anne and Maddie St. Marie, or San Marie. St. Marie.
Whatever.
Okay. Who are being questioned by an intrigued state employee. I think it's a state employee.
I think it's a state employee.
Who would it be? Yeah, well, yeah, I think it is.
From the adoption agency. I thought it was maybe just a lawyer. It doesn't really matter too much.
Who is Anne? She is, what relation?
She is the grandmother of Maddie.
An adult granddaughter.
Yes, they seem quite close in age, to be honest, but we'll maybe come to that point as well.
Okay. Anne wishes to adopt her as her own daughter, and she confirms that she has lived there since 1972.
The reason that she wants to adopt her adult granddaughter is to maintain this rent-controlled apartment, which can only be passed to a spouse or child.
They are at it. They're gaming the system here.
They are. The landlord will be furious.
I cannot back them in this.
Well, you say that, but if there's one set of people I have little sympathy for, it's landlords.
That's true. The official looks out at the impressive skyline as we understand that market rates from the place must be extortionate.
No doubt. Look at the very nice apartment that they have.
Yeah, and the very nice skyline. You know where it's positioned.
Great view. But
he appears happy to oblige by starting the paperwork, which elicits big grins from the pair.
We follow them out to the street where we learn it's going to take 3 months for the adoption to go through, with some palms having been greased.
Yeah, I mean, I've noted here that Maddie seems a bit sullen. She's typical. She's acting like a teenager.
Yeah, this is, I think, pretty much the standard for that generation, isn't it? They're always a little bit moody.
What age do you think she is? In her 30s, no? 20s anyway.
Well, the actor's in her 30s, but I think the character's meant to be younger.
Really? And the other character's meant to be older?
Than she actually is, yeah.
All right, okay. She's on her way, Madeline that is, to work on her bike, and tells Anne that she finishes at 6:30, but isn't promising to be back in time for Jeopardy.
Well, it's not so much that she isn't. She missed it, I think, the day before, and Anne warns her to be on time, and she explains that the man being hit by the waffle truck was a one-time thing. So her expectation is that she will be back for Jeopardy.
They then pass someone called Otto.
The landlord.
Yes, it turns out that he is the landlord, but I immediately noted that he's the superintendent, the building manager, who is cleaning up graffiti outside saying Otto sucks. Firstly, that's a very... you see it in some sort of kids or teen movies where the graffiti is inoffensive.
Yes.
Otto sucks.
Yeah.
But I've got an issue with this. Do you want to discuss it just now, or will we wait until it's confirmed later on? He is the landlord?
Well, I think we can say at the moment he is the landlord.
Yeah.
So we can discuss it now if you want. You don't think he looks like a man of sufficient means to be the landlord?
It's not what he looks like. I don't think that the landlord, the owner of a large apartment block in prime New York, would be out himself cleaning up graffiti, would be the maintenance man for the building. He will be taking in a fortune
Well, unless they're all rent controlled.
But even then, if you do the maths on what we learn they're getting,
Yeah.
he's still would be making enough. I mean, I assume that most of these buildings are actually probably owned by corporations now, maybe insurance companies. But anyway, yeah, someone with the wealth that you'd imagine he must have from owning that property would not be doing this type of menial work himself. If I had one flat to rent out, I would employ a management company.
Yes.
I wouldn't be changing light bulbs and washing buildings.
No, there's no need.
No. Anyway.
Let's suspend disbelief on that aspect.
Okay, well, it's a little bit like, if you're talking about suspending disbelief, I know it's a cliche. You watched it, I didn't, but the whole Friends thing where they were sort of menial
They
jobs.
similarly had a rent-controlled apartment.
Was that what it was?
I believe so. I don't think it's ever mentioned, but I think it's assumed that it must be.
Yeah. How could they afford that when you're a waitress or working in a coffee shop?
Yeah. They ask Otto, the landlord, when he's going to fix the hallway lights, and he tells them that he'll do it when they kiss his ass for living in such a palatial apartment for a pittance.
This first interaction, I assumed it was maybe a good nature, banter. That's what they do, but it turns out it's not.
No.
We have then a very, again, just to reiterate, I'm watching this and taking notes live. So I've not watched the episode. I don't know what's coming up. But yeah, I felt this is an odd scene. We've got Anne, the grandmother.
Yes.
And a younger woman, and they both go for the same plum at a fruit stall. And then in a dreamlike cut, the stranger, I thought it was a dreamlike cut, quotes a poem, and Anne appears hugely sexually excited by her and this interaction. Had she been pregnant at this point, you would have said her waters are broke.
Okay.
That's all I can say. And I thought,
it gives the impression, given what we find later on, it gives the impression, and it's never really addressed in the episode, that the other woman knew who she was and was approaching her, targeting her.
Yes, it's the only explanation, because she, without wanting to skip too far ahead, but she could in no way assume that this old woman would, it's not, it just doesn't seem likely.
Unless she knew she was into poetry and had...
But how would she even know? Because she'd previously been married to her. So it's not like, I just don't know why she would assume that this would be a strategy, a tactic that would work.
I don't know.
She should be going after, if you're playing the numbers game, going after old widowers doing the same sort of thing.
Would make sense. Would make sense.
Anyhow.
Yeah, so it's a bit flirty, and we then move...
It's more than flirty, it's just it looks like a connection.
It does.
Yeah.
We then jump back to the apartment where Jeopardy is on, and Maddie is a bit concerned by her Nana's inattentiveness to what is usually her favourite show.
Yeah, she still seems entranced by her earlier encounter, as she suggests they watch The Perfect Movie next. What's that?
Michael Clayton, have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
No, neither have I.
I mean, I know it's regarded as a good movie, but I'm not sure there must be some sort of in-joke here.
I think it's connected to some of the events that happen in this episode. I've not seen it, so I can't really say too much about it, but people will know.
We are then told with an unambiguous on-screen card that it is now 2 weeks later.
Yes, and Maddie returns home with her bike to find Kate and her Nana in bed.
Yes, okay, before we get there, we hear what sounds like perhaps screams of anguish coming from Anne's bedroom. Perhaps she's...
Yes, so Maddie's concerned. She pulls out her pepper spray and runs through and is met with the
plum woman.
Plum woman and Nana in...
The plum woman is going down on her.
Yes, and Maddie then maces herself in the eyes and yells, "Oh God, looked at Grandma's pussy, eyes."
Well, the pair scream in embarrassment and cover up. A little later, Anne tends to Maddie's eyes before introducing her girlfriend, Kate. Is it Forster or Foster?
Forster, she says. And Kate apologises for what happened and offers some advice on how to help Madeline with her eyes.
Yeah, however, she still appears a little upset.
Does it make you uncomfortable, my relationship with your grandmother?
Yeah, it's walking in on my Nana having sex with a stranger that makes me a little uncomfortable.
Mitten, I understand this is a shock.
I think I haven't really pictured you in a romantic context outside of Grandpa, so.
No, I loved your grandpa very much. It's just, when I was younger, I dated quite a few people, men and women. And it's been a joy for me to reconnect with that part of myself.
Nana, if you're happy, I'm happy.
Really?
Well, you still seem kind of upset.
It's probably from the pepper spray. Okay.
And you know what? Now that this Band-Aid's been torn off, I've been waiting for the right moment to bring this up. I've asked Kate to move in with us.
It's gonna be fun, Roomy.
Getting back to what we said there, Kate must have been doing some sort of research because she was quoting the poetry when we're touching plums. So it can't be a coincidence. She's obviously tried to find out, I'm not sure if this is public information or not, which apartments are rent controlled, and then targeted
Could be, yes.
individuals there, because she would have no way of knowing that that would work with her.
No. Anyway, later on they are watching Michael Clayton.
There are signs of tension between the three.
Yeah, well, Kate's tapping a pencil on her foot and rustling her newspaper crossword before asking a clearly irritated Maddie if anything is wrong in sort of a passive, not even passive-aggressive, openly aggressive way.
But I can understand she's doing that. If you love a movie and you want someone to watch it and they're not interested, sometimes I do this with my wife or even the kids. It's like, watch that. Look, you're missing a bit. Stop. Like,
I don't think Maddie particularly wants Kate to enjoy the movie. She just wants her to stop bothering her while she's enjoying it. And then Anne, who you would expect to be annoyed by Kate not being into her very favourite movie, she called it a perfect movie earlier on, doesn't even seem that bothered.
well, I think that's the sign that the dynamic has changed here.
Yeah.
Kate calls it a dumb movie.
She says it's dumb and all they do is talk and she can't follow the plot, which Maddie says is because she's not paying any attention.
Yeah. And things get worse when Maddie can no longer stand the very vocal and energetic lovemaking, and she walks over and picks up Kate's purse. I think that Anne is a bit of an inconsiderate dick at this point.
Well, she knows she's in the
building
house,
away.
that's
I mean, what are you, a teenage nympho? Stop it.
Yeah, behave.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially as Maddie works, so she's going to be out at times.
Yeah.
But you imagine this is perhaps Kate-led.
Sure, but she's old enough to say, no, let's not.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think in the earlier scene that Anne upset Maddie by taking Kate's side in the argument, essentially telling her it's just a movie and not to worry about it.
Anyway, the next thing we see is Maddie handing over an envelope stuffed with cash and a photocopy of Kate's ID through a crack in a chained door to quite a sketchy looking individual who she asked to do something for her.
Yes, he nods and then...
Is it a hitman perhaps?
Oh, who knows? Next thing we know, Kate is sorting her underwear in the laundry room as Maddie comes in and slams a manila folder down on the counter.
Yeah, she's got a menacing a look around her.
Furious look.
Yes. There is now no doubt that there's a dislike between each other. It's not just that there's a new person within the relationship, but Kate, throughout the episode, she plays it pretty cool and dismissive. She mocks Madeline for this dramatic act and doesn't initially feel compelled to pick it up and look at it.
No, but Maddie has uncovered Kate's true identity. Amelia Peake, I'm not sure if that's a reference to anything. She's apparently a felon and there are warrants out for her arrest in 3 different states.
Yeah, I think we see on the rap sheet there are assaults and burglaries. Interestingly, her real date of birth is used here. I checked.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe it's her real criminal record.
Real name? Who knows?
Oh, who knows? Anyway, she challenges Kate at this point and asks her to admit that she's after the apartment, but as you say, Kate continues to play it cool.
Yeah. Now, there is also a touch of the sort of psycho about how Kate, she never seems...
manipulator, 100%, yeah. Warning signs, red flags everywhere.
So Maddie accuses her of only being interested in the rent-controlled apartment, but she sinisterly tells her that she only sees her Nana's beauty, her mind, and capacity for sensual delights. Oh, so she's obviously really taunting.
Yeah, and then she does it to what all wrong-uns do, and we see it in politics and we see it in other aspects of life where she tries to flip it on Maddie and says it's alarming to her that Madeline sees her grandmother as a cheap apartment.
But Maddie isn't buying this and orders her to break off the relationship and leave town, or she will give her up to the authorities in Minnesota. Again, we've seen this before.
Charlie does it a lot.
Yes. She makes this very point, causing her to grab the file and pull out her pepper spray before again warning her to stay away from her Nana.
At this point we notice the washing machine flip to spin cycle and knock a drink off its own surface.
Kate then appears to agree to the demand, but asks for a couple of days to let Anne down gently. And Maddie stupidly lets her have one day.
Yes, she storms out this point, Kate clocks what's happened to the drink and grins.
Yeah, it seems to give her some sort of idea. We then have a montage where we see her put her nefarious plan into action.
Yeah, she sets up a death trap in the laundry, and so we see her changing the door handle, which we don't know if there's a problem with at this point, do we?
No. She then pours descaler all over the area where the Coke was spilled.
Yes, and sits a bottle of bleach precariously on top of the washing machine and hopes nobody will move it for the next 24 hours.
No, it's not. It's 20 minutes. She puts a 20-minute express cycle on.
All right, so it's going to be done today?
No. Yes.
Okay. So this is later. Okay, I got you. So she's not done this immediately. She's waited a day and then done this. That's where the day comes in. So we then join Kate with Anne quietly reading separately in the apartment.
Before Maddie gives Kate a non-verbal reminder that she has to start the breakup. So Kate gets up and goes to the hall where Madeline tells her to stop stalling as she was meant to have done this deed by 3 and it's now 5 past.
Yes, Kate asks her to go down to the laundry and pick up. I mean, why would Madeline
extend? It's basically she says, "Listen, go and do this for me, so I can have some time."
Yeah, but why would she do it? Even if she steps outside and stands outside the door,
I don't know.
There's no reason for her to agree to do this.
No,
I mean she might agree to it, but there's no reason for her to actually do it.
No, this was in terms of a murder plot. This was very chancy.
Yeah,
because she may well have just went outside and went to the shop.
Yeah, or just stood outside the door and listened to make sure it happened.
Yeah. There's no guarantee that a person who
and also that nobody else will go in.
Yeah.
Anyway. Maddie tells Anne that she's going down to get the laundry and then leaves.
So she enters the room and we see the door slam behind her as she spots the spilled liquid.
Yes.
There is, I think, a bit of a Final Destination feel to the scene as we cut back to a smirking Kate who obviously has not broken up with Anne, and we see the bleach balancing perilously on the edge.
Yes, and before Maddie can do anything about that, the spin cycle kicks in.
Yeah, I think we see Kate looking at her watch, obviously knowing that this is the time when it will be happening. And the chemical reaction of the bleach and the descaler creates a deadly and immediate fume, which the coughing and spluttering Maddie cannot escape from due to the new lock that's been put on.
Yes, the handle doesn't work. Back upstairs, Kate checks her watch again and smiles before asking Anne how she feels about putting in a breakfast nook. She's got no intention of actually separating.
This week's time skip has Charlie in her car, speaking to Good Buddy and telling him that she thinks New York could be good for her, as the sheer volume of people might work like some sort of bullshit white noise machine and prevent her from being drawn into all these situations that she's up to this point found herself in.
I think he's a bit sceptical of this, but it turns out that he has an apartment in Brooklyn that he keeps as a tax write-off, and she offers to rumple his pillows.
I wonder if we'll find out more about Good Buddy and his requirements for tax write-offs.
No, we will not.
Is he not a trucker?
Yep.
Why would a trucker have
Well, he's someone with a CB radio, and we see the CB radio in the flat as well, so it's maybe not connected to trucking.
Okay.
If he has it at home too, it's maybe just a hobby.
Okay.
Who knows?
A hobby. That was a hobby from the 70s and 80s.
Well, he's from the 70s and 80s. Outside the apartment building, which we see is the same one that Anne and Maddie live in, Charlie meets a woman called Noreen peeling potatoes.
Strange place to do your potato peeling.
She will not answer any questions about the potatoes, and Charlie moves along.
Yeah, she's undaunted. She's in very high spirits. I think she likes the vibe, likes the thought of having somewhere that's not her car. Yeah.
So in the common close, is that what they call it in America?
Don't think so.
Maybe Scotland only. In the corridor of the apartment, she is stopped by Otto, who we met earlier on, cleaning graffiti.
She lies that she's there cat sitting, but has to change this to cactus sitting as she finds out that pets are forbidden. But he points out that cacti don't require a lot of water, and therefore she won't need to be around for another 10 days. Why does she have to talk about subletting here? The truth is, it's her friend just letting her stay.
Yeah, why should she say the truth?
Yeah, is she paying him and effectively? There's no. It's not a formal sublet. Even if she is giving him some money,
maybe they're not allowed to have anyone stay.
Someone's out in town. She's literally.
But that doesn't make any sense either, because Kate gets to come and stay.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't understand this at all. Just say, yeah, it's GB. He's away. He's asked me to pop in. I'm staying here for a few days because I'm his friend, and I can stay in his flat if I want. It's not a sublet situation.
No. But then There must be some issue because Otto's raised it immediately that, are you subletting?
Yeah, she said, no, I'm not. He's my friend.
Inside, she relaxes and appreciates the apartment and finds the fridge full of various types of mustard. There's also a weird stain on the roof.
Yes, I think, she looks at it as an 8-track collection, some old school music collection, and she sees the CB set up. She then flops down on the bed, looks up, she's obviously very content, and she hears a tapping before seeing this damp patch on the ceiling above, and then smiles as she, I think to me that what she was seeing there was typical domestic problems, but something she doesn't have to deal with. So she hears the tapping noise, but the patch above there, thinking, this is what grown-ups do. They have to deal with these problems.
Issues, yeah.
Yeah.
We next find her down at the local bodega.
Yes. She settles into her new life by heading down there for supplies and acts like she is some sort of, California Encino man experiencing the modern world for the first time.
Gosh, Abdul, this is really someplace you got here. I mean, that's smoothies, chainsaws, cheese, as far as the eye can see, snow globes. Yeah, you think I could get a job here?
I don't know who you are.
Oh, I'm Charlie Callan, just looking for a job.
Excuse me, sir. I bought this cantaloupe here earlier, and it is just completely unacceptable.
It's bullshit.
Sorry, do you want another?
No. What I'd like is to exchange it for 4 mangoes. I think it's perfectly fair.
Also bullshit.
I'm sorry. Can I help you?
Help? You're fine. Honestly, your fruit scams are your business.
Well, maybe they could be our business. Huh? Let me buy you a pasta dinner. I want to know everything there is to know about you.
Gosh, you don't mean that, but flattered nonetheless.
Oh, you got a keen sense of the truth, huh? You're what I like to call a eagle-eyed Jim. An honest Thomas.
And other things, I'm sure. Lucille Lamb Chop. Thanks, Abdul. See ya. Right.
So Kate there appears to be targeting Charlie. Is she just watching folk coming out of that building?
And also assuming that she's got this miraculous lesbian conversion power.
I mean, she probably does. She is quite powerfully attractive. Those freckles. It doesn't work on you. You're not a lesbian.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, you could be.
I could be.
You haven't told me. So, anyway, I think that Lucille Lamchop was in some way an Arrested Development reference. Someone I've read, but I don't know what. I've not seen that.
I watched the first season years ago. Then I enjoyed it, but I didn't for some reason. Too busy, probably. Anyhow, back at the apartment, she has to run from Otto, and so finds herself in the laundry room, where she shuts the door. Now, Maddie is not happy with this as she can't get it open again and tells her the place is a death trap as Otto, the landlord, doesn't fix anything. And this is where I've said, you know what, he's the landlord. Why would he be fixing things? You own the building. You should be a millionaire.
Should be, except for the rent controls. Anyway, this is interesting because later on, Kate changes the door to be broken. But at this point, she hasn't done anything and it's still broken.
She knows or will have been told that there's a way out. So she's put a new lock on it, which means that the old method to get out won't work. So she knows that Kate can get out from this.
No, that's not what happens. We'll find out.
All right. Anyway, we find out that Maddie is a bike messenger.
Yes, and she's always got a toolkit with her.
She's prepared for anything. She's quite handy that way. And as she goes to work on the hinge, Charlie spots the Chernobyl-licious chemicals on the shelf.
Yes, and also loses her coffee to the spin cycle.
Yes.
The two of them get to know each other a little bit, and Charlie misunderstands what Maddie's asking her when she questions whether she likes Jeopardy.
Yeah, I thought that was quite funny.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets into some sort of existential, philosophical answer about, perhaps. And
risk and stuff, yeah.
But no, she means the TV show.
Which Charlie does like.
And we also find out that Anne took Maddie in when she was in high school after her parents kicked her out. So she's obviously got that boy. Effectively, she's been brought up as maybe her daughter.
Yes. So yeah, like we say, Charlie enjoys Jeopardy, so she joins the two of them to watch it in the apartment.
She thinks this is a perfect existence, enhanced only with the offer to watch Michael Clayton for the 800th time.
Yeah, she endears herself to Anne by noting it's a perfect movie and asks about the apartment. It's a very opulent one.
Yeah, she stands and admires the place and assumes that she must be very wealthy, but what does Anne tell her?
She's just a retired poetry professor and has been there since the 70s, which means it's rent control.
Yes, Charlie realises this is the holy grail of apartments, and Maddie lets her in on their adoption scheme.
And one of the key upsides of this plan is how upset Otto is going to be about it.
Yes. At this point, a freaky-looking guy called Ricardo enters with head tattoos.
We've seen him before.
Have we?
Yeah, we saw Maddie hand him the envelope.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant in a previous episode or show.
No. In this episode.
Yes.
Yes, as I say, he's the guy that helped Maddie with the file on Kate. But
he's got a mango.
This is what I was going to say. He doesn't live up to the stereotype you might expect and were led to believe earlier on, because he's late due to choosing the right mango.
Yeah, I think he does at first try to be quite intimidating towards Charlie because he doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
However, she smiles and introduces herself, and we see that he is the friendly type when he asks her if she has a library card and talks of his passion for research. So he works at the local library.
He describes it as a calling and says if you ever need something researched, he's the guy, as we saw earlier.
She notes that he is a prime example of not judging a book by its cover. I've said this before, maybe not on this, but I don't know what podcast, or maybe it wasn't even on mic, but I don't believe in that, don't judge a book by its cover. I think most of the time you will be well served by judging it. Certainly,
that's the point of having a cover.
Yeah, literally books. My, an Audible collection or whatever it is, I'm scanning through and things get added. And you look and I can see that it's like a anime elf or some guy with his shirt off, with his rippling six pack.
And you read it straight away.
I read it straight away. I think that's for me. No, and I think that's not what I'm after. I've judged that book. I can tell there's goblins in the front and some guy with a sword. Yeah, I won't be reading that. It's not my type of thing. To you, exactly. Yeah, you made a judgment. So have I. So I think
the goblins and the man in the same book.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you had two separate books that you were reading.
No. Anyway.
Maddie...
Charlie asks...
Charlie first of all asks if the library is hiring, and Maddie notes that she didn't realise Charlie was looking for work. So there's two responses here. First of all, Ricardo says, yes, but the union is terrible.
Corrupt.
And Maddie then says she can hook Charlie up for work if required, which is presumably with the bike messaging.
Which company. I have noted here, no chance. Charlie is a vapor, ex-smoker. She lives in her car. She eats at Subway.
She's not biking.
She's not biking. There's no chance she'll be fit enough to become a bike. It's not happening. She doesn't have the aerobic capacity.
We next find Charlie performing her new job outside a cafe.
Yeah, well, she says, I've picked up a flyer.
Yes.
Did you see that? No,
I didn't. Okay,
so we find out that she has something in the pipeline. And as you say, she is on a laptop. What's she doing?
She's training CAPTCHAs.
Yes, those annoying traffic lights and bikes and whatever.
I assume at a fraction of a cent per
one.
Oh,
but terrible, yes. A woman then offers her a free coffee.
Yes, the shop has accidentally made two for her, and she says it's just a plain black coffee.
And Charlie looks like she could do with it because she's sitting there tapping away dead-eyed.
Charlie drinks it and finds it's not a black coffee.
Yeah, it's some convoluted hipster variation.
The woman apologises for lying, which is a weird thing to say to Charlie particularly.
I think she's getting annoyed. She was trying to do something good and it's all starting to go a bit wrong.
Charlie says she knows that it wasn't a lie. The woman believes what she was saying, and the woman says, leave it to me to F up a random act of kindness, and asks Charlie to pay it forward, she guesses.
Indeed. So she returns to the apartment, and as she approaches, realises that something is up as there is a crowd and fire trucks outside. And the local fireman brings her up to speed.
Yes, a firefighter who lives in the building says there's been an incident with toxic chemicals in the laundry room and they should all stay clear for a couple of days.
I am not sure that... I think he tells everyone who's there.
Yep.
That is not the official communication, like him just saying this, if there's toxic chemicals. That would be taped off.
Yeah, you would think so.
All sorts of signs.
Well, it is taped off. We find later on, we see the tape.
Yeah, but every door would have... information. They would chap every door, make sure no one's in there. They would board up the laundry room.
Yeah. Picking up on his use of the word we, Charlie finds out that he lives in 1G directly above Good Buddy's apartment.
And he was the source of the tapping sound. It wasn't a leak. That's what I thought it was.
Yes, and it's not just a hobby. He did have a short-lived off-Broadway career and now just does it to relieve his stress from time to time.
And also firefighting pays the bills.
He's called away by a colleague at this point, and Noreen, the potato-peeling lady, gets into a conversation with Charlie.
I like this. Tell me about her, what she says.
Well, she's got a phenomenal joke coming up, which I will repeat in full. But before that, she tells Charlie that some bleach and some descaler were spilled on each other, and the sodium hypochlorite reacted with the phosphoric acid to create chlorine gas. And because of the broken lock, a tenant was trapped inside, and Charlie is shocked to learn that they died.
She assumes she must be some sort of chemist knowing all this, but what's the reason?
Oh no, she's an investigative journalist.
An ex?
Yes. She did work for The Observer and was blackballed for punching Rex Reed, who you'll know from the first Superman movie.
You brought me up to speed on that, yeah. I've done a little bit of background. Obviously, he was an obnoxious bit of an arse. I think he's a bit of a racist as well, although don't sue me on that.
He's still living, yeah.
Yeah, from what I can gather, he's a horrible individual.
An unpleasant man.
Yeah.
We then get a phenomenal joke, which is worth repeating, not as well as they did it, but Charlie asks more about Noreen's career, and she says she did a stint as managing editor at Vague magazine before retiring, and Charlie says Vogue's a big deal. She says, no, Vague magazine is a different one, and Charlie asks her what it's about. So she says, this and that.
Yes.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
She doesn't know who the victim was, but does know that she lived with her grandmother Anne, which is a blow for Charlie.
It's a bombshell, yes. So later, Charlie knocks on Anne's door with a gift and is surprised to have it answered by Kate.
Oh, hello again. Nice fruit. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm looking for Anne.
She's in mourning right now.
Yeah, I know, it's awful. I came by to say how sorry I was.
By bringing a pineapple?
Oh, yeah, I remember that Anne likes fruit, and someone did something nice for me, told me to pass it on.
A pineapple of condolence. A lovely gesture. She'll be very touched.
Sorry. So sorry. Just, you said you're a friend of Anne's?
We're engaged, actually.
Bullshit.
Excuse me?
Sorry, forget it. None of my business.
Oh, that's right. You're a savvy one. Eagle-eyed Jim. Well, we're going to be engaged. Very soon.
You said you live here, but it's nuts. I was here a few weeks ago. I thought it was just Anne and Maddie.
Recent development. Thanks for the pineapple.
The actor there, she's very good at playing a snidey, horrible individual, isn't she?
Very much so. We next find Charlie in the close where Otto notes that she's visiting the cactus quite a lot.
But she has no time for playing games at this point, or being called a liar. Instead, she accuses him of causing Maddie's death by refusing to change the lock, but knows he's telling the truth when he responds that he did in fact change it.
Yeah. She can, as you say, she can tell that's true, so they go down to the laundry together to look at what must have happened.
Yeah, where Charlie talks through the incident with the bleach and the descaler, as we heard at the top of the podcast.
Yes, she notices it was moved from the shelf and straight out asks Otto if he murdered Maddie.
He truthfully says no, but also truthfully and worryingly says that he would have had he known about the adoption. So do we think that he actually, is Charlie being serious here? Is he?
Yeah.
He would kill her.
He says he would, or he believes that he would.
Well, I suppose that's different, isn't it? Because lying is not telling an inaccurate or making an inaccurate statement. It's what you believe to be accurate or truthful.
Yeah. They agree, however, that the setup here is a bit fishy, but Otto notes the handle is not the one that he installed, as he would never have sprung for an upgraded model.
And at this point, Charlie realises that whoever did this was the person who set up the Rube Goldberg of death.
Otto doesn't care. He just realises that he is not liable and therefore is ready to leave.
And before Charlie leaves, she notices something.
Yeah, there's a price sticker on the handle.
Are these still in use? That was something from my childhood.
Yeah, I remember you used to be able to peel them off and put a cheaper one on and get things for less money than they were.
Absolute thief.
You know, like pay for them?
Yeah. A little gun that you would have. You click.
Before barcodes.
Surely stores aren't using these.
Maybe in backwards places where they don't have the technology for barcode scanning.
In New York, yeah. Kate is unable to console Anne up at the apartment with a fruit platter, which she uses to cover the criminal record that for some reason is lying on the table.
That's fortuitous that it's not yet been spotted by Anne.
Who left it there?
Maddie.
But why would she leave it there? She's given her a chance to leave. If she wanted to let her know, she would just tell her.
Anne is going through Maddie's stuff, so she's got all her journals. That's what she's looking at. So presumably it was in with that. It wasn't left out on the coffee table originally.
Okay. Although quoting poetry does seem to soothe her a little bit. Kate then removes the incriminating document by hiding it in other papers, and as she does, she notices that it was generated in the public library by a R. Alvarez.
She asks Anne whether Maddie had any friends who worked at the library, and she says Ricardo from 2B.
But Kate's plan starts to take a turn when the distraught Anne mentions that she no longer wants to stay there.
Kate tries to fob this off with a "this too shall pass."
Yes, and kisses her on the head before walking out. Now, we find ourselves where?
We're back at the bodega where shopkeeper Abdul doesn't recognise Charlie.
Still doesn't recognise her.
She finds this a bit hurtful, but after confirming that he did sell the door handle that she's found, or that she was in place on the laundry, he says he can't tell her who to because he is face blind.
These little touches, I think, are what make this show stand out.
The absurdity.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It turns a comedy into a black comedy or something slightly off the wall, because when he initially says he doesn't know who Charlie is, we assume it's just because
he doesn't care.
She's a stranger. It's the first time she's been in the shop or whatever. But no, it's more than that.
When she tells him her usual order,
her sandwich order, yeah,
he says that she's one of his favourites. Surely, though, face blindness doesn't prevent him recognising her very distinctive voice.
Now, that's a good point. I don't know enough about it, how it all works.
Maybe in New York it's not that distinctive.
Yeah,
it is a kind of a New Yorkie.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Anyway, she talks to him about what was bought with the door handle, and this helps her figure out what's going on. She initially is told it's fruit and questions whether it might have been Anne. However,
it's not just that, it's the fact that the person who bought it is frequently unhappy with the fruit.
Yes, and regularly wants to change it for multiples of other fruits, which we saw Kate do when Charlie was there.
This seals it for Charlie, yes.
She knows who the killer is.
Kate then takes the sinister levels up to 10 when she bursts through Ricardo's door, his chained door.
Yeah, brandishing a knife.
A flick knife, yes. She admits that she is bad news, as described in the report that he made for Maddie, before he misunderstands what she means when asking if he has been inside.
Yeah, well, I think she is approaching him as if he is who he looks like.
Yes. I also liked her reaction, her puzzled reaction when he doesn't get what she means.
Yeah, he just talks about having not been out today.
Yes.
And she questions why he's got so many tattoos.
That's just great as well. What does he say?
He just loves the art of visual storytelling.
She warns him that anyone can be gotten to and that accidents happen all the time.
Yeah, she references Anatomy of a Fall and notes that without a witness, it's impossible to know if someone was pushed or not.
And through heavy breaths, he nods that he will keep his mouth shut.
At this point, she notices a picture on his wall that she likes, and we then see her making her way upstairs with it under her arm.
Yeah, have you got trivia for William Eggleston?
No.
Why not? Is he a real painter?
I think so.
You didn't bother looking into that?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't interesting enough.
All right.
It looked like a big photograph, didn't it?
Well, I think it might be a print. I'm not sure. I thought you may have done some research, but
No.
if you're not worried, okay.
I think you either know or you don't. It's not that important.
All right.
As we see Kate heading upstairs with the picture, Charlie is also coming up from below to visit Ricardo.
Yes, and we see that Kate has stopped and she's listening as Charlie tells him she's there to have this chat and enters the apartment. However, when the door is closed, he claims never to have met Kate, which Charlie obviously calls BS on, and proceeds to ask if she and Maddie had some sort of beef.
Yeah, she also references Kate's sketchy energy and knows that he's lying through his teeth when he tries to deny any awareness.
And we see that Kate is now listening at the door. Charlie asks if he is involved in the whole situation.
Yes, but before he can answer that, Kate comes to his rescue.
How?
She sets off the fire alarm, we assume.
Yeah, he's saved by the bell as the building empties onto the street. However, as they all leave, Ricardo sees the painting, the print, which was of a girl lying down, sitting on or by the stairs. However, there is now an ominous slash through
the throat,
through the neck. Yeah,
and Kate nods to him with another non-verbal cue.
Yeah, she's wielding her knife, which she puts to her lips with a menacing grin.
Outside, Mickey, the firefighter, tells Charlie that they can let everyone back in once they determine that it was definitely a false alarm, and thanks her for helping him realise that he does miss the stage.
So much so that he is going on an audition and tells her that if she ever needs a favour, she knows where he lives. She then spots the agitated Ricardo and tells her he doesn't know shit and asks her to stop talking to him before he rides off on a scooter.
Yes. She could probably have kept up with that scooter if she needed to.
I think it's the nice juxtaposition of, his size and what you think he should be riding a Harley or something.
Not a Vespa thing,
Yeah.
Kate at this point exits the building and Charlie challenges her directly.
And she can't help but respond with I suppose, a killer cliche. It doesn't matter what you know. She's almost, she admits it.
Where is your proof?
Yes, Lieutenant. She is confident that she won't find many willing proof providers.
It's an interesting way to say I'm blackmailing everybody or threatening everybody or whatever else, intimidating them.
Yeah. Charlie looks over and she's noticed the fire engines or the fire people, and the look in her eye seems to suggest that she may have other ideas.
Yeah, marble might have started rolling there. Back in the apartment, Kate returns home
Smug Kate
hears music playing and is surprised to find Otto giving a tour to a prospective new tenant.
Yeah, first of all, she flops down on the sofa. She thinks her work's done, everything's fine.
All under control.
But then, this new tenant and Otto enter from another room discussing renovation policy. They're laughing and joking, and the new guy makes it clear that money is no object, which clearly concerns and confuses Kate.
Yes, she questions Anne about it in the bedroom and is not pleased to hear her say that she asked Otto to list the apartment.
Yes, she is extremely unhappy about not being consulted, considering they are to be married and it will then be their place.
Anne says for now it's still her apartment and she wants to see the country.
And so what does Kate suggest?
She says she's already seen the country and it doesn't get any better than this. But Anne is not willing to stay there. I think she's haunted by Maddie's memory.
Of course. So Kate gets a bit desperate and says, okay, let's get married right now. And tells her to wait while she goes to get the paperwork.
Anne is clearly not that excited about the idea at this point, but after Kate leaves, Charlie arrives.
To warn her that she may be in jeopardy.
That's a good use of the recurring term.
And so, when Kate returns with wedding paperwork later on, she's annoyed to find Charlie there and Anne wishing to talk to her alone.
Yes, Charlie heads off to feed the pigeons. Kate tells her they don't have pigeons, and Charlie tells her not with that attitude. And Anne then explains Charlie's theory about Kate having killed Maddie as part of a scheme to seize the apartment.
This is dismissed as Charlie being a crazy lady, and she will have her gone by the time she returns from the laundry. That is time Anne returns from the laundry.
Yeah, so Anne plays a little dumb here, I think, and agrees to this proposal.
Now, they hug, and as they do, Kate mentions all the attributes of the apartment and the monthly rental cost, which is she thinks is £800. That seems extraordinarily cheap. However, that's inaccurate.
Yeah, it's only $640, about £500.
Now, okay, we don't know that. Let's not guess here. If anyone in New York or anyone who does know, we understand the principle of rent control.
Yep.
However, even with that, 640, which, as you say, is about 500, you could not get a flat in Glasgow in the UK.
You'd have to go a bit out of town for
that. So that seems far too low. Is this just an exaggeration? Do you get that type of... Because that would seem to be the cost from the 70s, and I don't think that's how it works. You don't freeze the rent forever.
No, we don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Someone should tell us.
Let us know.
Use the social media channels that I wasn't allowed to tell you about at the start.
Yeah.
Charlie is sitting in the sort of bay window of the next room and starts to explain to Kate how she figured her out.
She puffs in a vape, yes. But she casually walks over and pushes her to her death.
Yes. Kate is quite pleased with herself at this point, but surely she must realise that Anne's going to know what happened.
This is the thing, we can't take the show seriously because, yes, immediately there'd be cops and people would be up there. It just wouldn't happen. But she turns and thinks, okay, that maybe she's just a pure psychopath.
Maybe.
She thinks, problem solved. She's dead.
She's a bit surprised to then hear applause. Maybe she thinks it's in her head.
And what does she do?
She turns to look out the window and finds Charlie has landed on a massive inflatable cushion like you get when there's a fire.
Yeah, it's a rescue airbag.
She's called in that favour from her dancing neighbour Mickey.
Which leaves her with a lot of explaining to do to Anne, who has returned and tells her that she is effed.
So effed. And I think, is it the lawyer from the start, or the city worker, whoever you called him? He's filming what's going on, and Anne explains that he is her witness.
And both Charlie and Maddie were right about her, and that she should have paid attention during Michael Clayton.
I think there's a fake death in that.
Is there? Mm-hmm. Okay. So later on, we wrap up with Charlie saying goodbye to Anne as she prepares to leave her place to a new, less distinguished keeper.
Gosh, I'm real sorry about Maddie and Kate too, for that matter. It really sucks when you find out someone isn't who you thought they were. Gosh, you're really gonna leave this place? Why'd you say? Roam the land?
Down, down, down into the darkness of the grave. Gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, but I do not approve. And I am not resigned. I've been here too long anyway.
You get it. It's a big-ass bed, but it's a circle, not a rectangle. And then we'll just tear out all the wood floors, replace it with carpet or something more soft. And a shit ton of taxidermy, but, like, ironic. Oh, yeah, boys. This place is gonna fuck.
It just shows what sort of people have money these days.
These days?
Yeah. That's the end. Mm-hmm. Did you buy that the actor playing Maddie could be the grandchild of the actor playing Anne?
No.
One of them, in real life, one of them's in their late 30s and one's in their early 60s. So there's only 20 odd years.
Yeah, but I think it looks like Anne has been made up to play older.
In her 70s, maybe.
Yeah.
Or late 60s. And yeah, maybe Awkwafina's playing
I think a bit like in the thing with the monkey.
Yeah. We talked about the other thing I was going to say about Kate's plan with flirting with Charlie. Maybe she's just looking at everyone coming out of that building. Maybe she's just testing out her skills. I don't know. Do you think that's the last we will see of Kate?
Of Kate? Yeah, she's going to be locked up, isn't she?
Well, she's been on the run. She might escape again.
I don't think so. I think that
she's
as part of Charlie's plan, she's not just telling the firefighter. Surely she's calling the cops.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we hope so. Any other thoughts on this one?
It was fun.
I enjoyed it. And again, back to the format, and people enjoy that. It was a good format. The director this week, Adama Ibo, who has also directed on the shows Atlanta and Swarm and written on Mr. and Mrs. Smith and the Amazon Prime animation Batman Caped Crusader. She often works with her identical twin Adama and Adani, including on their award-winning feature film Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. The writers were Wyatt Kane, who we've talked about previously, and Tea Ho. Tea is listed as an executive story editor on every episode this season, and they have also written for The Sympathizer and We Were the Lucky Ones. Maddie was played by Awkwafina, a very famous person who you've never seen before.
I know Steve Buscemi.
I mean, she's been pretty ubiquitous the last 5 years. She's been in things like Ocean's 8, Crazy Rich Asians, The Simpsons, Jumanji: The Next Level, that was the second of the new Jumanji movies, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, a Marvel film, The Bad Guys 2, Little Mermaid, Kung Fu Panda 4, Black Mirror, F, which is I think a Disney one.
I've seen F. Is that the...
With the big blue snuffleupagus thing?
I saw that, and I've saw Bad Guys 1.
Okay.
But apart from that, and yeah, so...
She won an Emmy for Quiz Lady, a Golden Globe for The Farewell. She's also a musician, and she is a New York native. Kate was played by Aaliyah Shawkat. It's the first time I've heard the name Aaliyah since we did Quantum Leap.
So it's not Shawkat Ali, the ex-snooker player?
No, I think he's maybe named after her, though.
Right.
She's maybe, or definitely, best known for her role on Arrested Development, but she's also appeared in things like The Old Man, Without a Trace, Veronica Mars, Search Party, and Severance, and as amazing Freckles. We've got a connection here. Anne was played by Lauren Tom, who was in Quantum Leap. We talked about her when we did the episode Southern Comforts. She played Sophie, one of the girls in the brothel.
Okay.
She was famously, and I've just copied and pasted my notes from that episode, Julie, Ross's one of Ross's wives on Friends. So one of Ross's wives is now playing a grandmother on television, and this is distressing to all of us who enjoyed Friends. She voices Amy on Futurama. She's been in or provided voice work for shows like King of the Hill, Rick and Morty, Teen Titans Go, and Star Trek Lower Decks. Alex, the girl with the coffee, was played by Patty Harrison. This is the first of 4 poker faces for her, so we'll talk more about her later in the season. Good Buddy. This is his final appearance of the season, so we'll mention him now. He's played by a guy called Steve Buscemi.
Oh, right.
A Brooklyn native. He's probably one of the most well-recognised actors today, multi-award winning as an actor and as a director. He's known for films like Fargo, The Wedding Singer, and other Adam Sandler collaborations. He's really good in The Wedding Singer. It's worth watching. He's only in it for a few seconds, but it's really good. Con Air, Reservoir Dogs, Ghost World, Airheads, Pulp Fiction, and in voice work he does both the Hotel Transylvania and Monsters Inc. series.
But Airheads, not to mention Airheads.
I did say Airheads.
Did you say that?
Nice.
Good.
Need to listen.
Sopranos.
Well, on television, he's been in things like Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos, 30 Rock, from which the famous Hello Fellow Kids meme.
Fargo, did you mention Fargo?
I mentioned Fargo already. And most recently, Wednesday, which I watched him in the first part of season 2 recently.
Did you mention Pulp Fiction?
I did. This is the last, as I said, of his 4.
Rising Sun, did you mention that?
I didn't. Any other things you've seen him in?
I'm just looking through his thing just now. I mean, the thing is with him, he's been in everything.
Yes.
Like every show he's been
everything, anything,
yeah.
and things that, yeah.
Okay.
Otto was played by David Alan Greer, another well-loved actor. He's been in things like St. Denis or Saint Denis Medical, Elspeth, which is a similar premise to this one, the American Society of Magical Negroes, the more recent The Colour Purple, The Carmichael Show. He was, back in the day, he was in Alf, and the original Jumanji, to connect him to Awkwafina, who's in the new one. He's been Tony nominated more than once. He is the godfather of Matthew Modine's 2 children. Matthew Modine is famous right now for Stranger Things, but also has been in lots of other stuff. Noreen, the older lady at the apartment building, was played by Myra Lucretia Taylor. This is the first of 2 episodes for her. She's also been in things like The Big Sick with Kumail Nanjiani, who was in the Gator Joe one, Atlanta, The Black Donnellys, Deadline, and Blue Bloods. Abdul in The Store was played by Pej Vadat. He was the face-blind storekeeper. Also appeared in The Old Man, Empire, Bones, and Shameless, amongst many other things. And lastly, the easily intimidated Ricardo was played by Angel Rosario Jr. He's also appeared in stuff like Tulsa King, Cobra Kai, Black Adam, and Law and Order SVU. Law and Order SUV would be interesting, with all just getting big cars. Other bits of trivia. Locations this week. The exterior of the apartment building was on 47th Avenue in Sunnyside, New York, as was the coffee shop where Charlie was sitting. That's Curly's Bagels, also 47th Avenue. And the exterior of the deli that we saw when Anne was picking fruit was at Brooklyn Heights Deli on Henry Street in Brooklyn. The credits and the music we talked about being kind of Woody Allen themed. I think this is a tribute to New York as a character, and we see that as well with a lot of New York actors involved in the episode. The poem that Anne read to Charlie at the end was by Edna St. Vincent Millay. It's called Dirge Without Music. The episode title was a play on A New Lease of Life, which I think is a Columbo-esque thing. You saw that a lot with Columbo when they did things like Death Lends a Hand or A Stitch in Crime, where they take a death-related word and put it into a common phrase, and I think that was nicely done on this occasion. In terms of music, at the start we heard Brazil by Django Reinhardt. At one part, when
Django Reinhardt, he's famous for
not having chains.
I think he's only got 2 fingers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, 2 usable fingers.
When Anne was reading the poem to Charlie, we heard Grieg's Norwegian Dance, and the outro was a clarinet jazz piece, again, I think Woody Allen themed. In terms of who did crimes this week, Kate, murder, attempted murder, at least, probably more things. Next week, Charlie gets dragged into something she'd rather take nothing to do with in The Big Pump.
Okay, until then.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.